Well, hello again. Welcome to my office. This is Bob Young. We are reading and understanding the book of Revelation. We are seeking to read and understand the message. Eventually, these videos will become part of a written copy, a book that will be a part of the series, Reading and Understanding the Message. 19 of the 27 New Testament books have been completed. Working on the book of Revelation. These videos will help me in preparation. We are in Revelation chapter 2. Remember that John received a vision beginning in chapter 1, verses 9 through 20. John is called to be a witness to the Word of God. He is to be a witness of Jesus Christ, the testimony of Jesus Christ. Verse 9 of chapter 1, I, John, your brother and partner in tribulation in the kingdom, was on the island of Patmos on account of the word of God and the testimony. Remember, testimony, witness, and martyrdom, all from the same root. So John is told to write what he hears. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. He hears a voice behind him speaking as a trumpet. And then he turns and sees the one speaking. The voice tells him to write what he sees in a book. Write what you see in a book and send it to the 7 churches, to Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. This is a common theme in the book of Revelation, hearing and then seeing. First the hearing, then the seeing. When he turns, he sees one like a son of man, probably meaning in human form, but with divine vestments, Jesus Christ. Instructions to write, and we have at the end of chapter 1 an explanation of 2 of the symbols we encounter in the book. We'll have a number of symbols, apocalyptic literature, but here we have explanations. Many times there will be internal explanations in the book or in an allusion to the Old Testament. We will be able to discern and decipher the meaning of the symbol. Here we have 7 lampstands, which represent 7 churches. We have the 7 stars in the hand of the one who spoke, and these are the 7 angels of the 7 churches. Now we need to mention quickly something about the word angel, because that means in the original language only one sent, often translated messenger, who will be delivering these letters. Are we talking about a celestial messenger, a heavenly messenger, or is this give these to a earthly messenger who is, shall we say, a delivery person to the churches? So we come to seek and understand to chapter 2. Today in chapter 2, the letters are a part of the first vision in the book. The letters are dictated by the voice in the vision, and I want to encourage you to read the 4 letters in chapter 2 in parallel. What we say today in chapter 2 will also be true in many cases for chapter 3, but we're focused on chapter 2. We begin in the parallel reading with some introductory words, descriptions of Jesus. To the angel of the church in Ephesus, write the words of him who holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walks among the 7 golden lampstands. The words of the first and last, who died and came to life. The words of him who has the sharp 2-edged sword. The words of the one with eyes like a flame of fire, whose feet are like burnished bronze. Each of these referring back to the description of the one described in chapter 1. And then immediately after, I know your works. I know your tribulation, your poverty, but you are rich, and the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not, a synagogue of Satan. I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is. I know your works, your love and faith and service and patience endures. So I know your history. I know your situation. Following that phrase, I know, and description of the history or the situation, there are both positives and negatives in some of these cases, threats and problems, but there are also admonitions and encouragement, and finally a promise to the one who conquers. I'm reading from the ESV. To the one who conquers, this is the letter to Ephesus, to the one who conquers, I will grant to eat of the tree of life in the paradise of God. In the case of Smyrna, we have to the one who conquers. I will not be hurt by the second death. These are themes that will appear again in the book. In the case of Pergamum, to the one who conquers, I will give of the hidden manna, a white stone, a new name written on the stone that no one knows except the one who receives it. And finally, the case of the church in Thyatira, to the one who conquers and keeps my works until the end, I give authority over the nations. So in each of the letters, there is a concluding promise. Now, as we think about the book and some things that are introduced, we've already talked about the number 7 representing the churches, representing the angels or the messengers. We also read in chapter 2 and verse 10, do not fear what you are about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you into prison that you may be tested. For 10 days you will have tribulation. I want to suggest that 10 is the number of tribulation. 10 is the number of affliction. Think of Boaz presenting himself to the elders, 10 elders who made a decision concerning Ruth. We come to the book of Genesis. We have 4, number of completeness, times 10, the days of the flood, of the rain that led to the flood. It rained 40 days and 40 nights. 10 times that Laban changed Jacob's wages. 10 plagues. 10 times 4, the number of years in the wilderness. 10 times you have reproached me. Job chapter 19, verse 3. 40 days, 10 times 4, the days of the temptation of Jesus. So on and on we could, in other cases as well, talk about 10, the number of tribulation. Just put that in your mind. Think about it. In 3 of the 4 letters, there's a mention of Satan. In all of the letters except the one to Ephesus, or descriptions of the opponents. And we begin to see themes that are developing. The theme of endurance, chapter 2 and verse 3. I know your endurance. I know that you have endured patiently. I know your patient endurance. Remember that John is also one who is enduring, chapter 1 and verse 9. We've mentioned before the theme of witness. Look at chapter 2, verse 13. Speaks of the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was killed among you. And as a witness being killed, he is simply following in the footsteps of the one who is faithful witness, Jesus Christ himself. The faithful witness, 1:5, the firstborn of the dead, that is, resurrected. The theme of tribulation will also be seen more and more. We have that in chapter 2, verse 9, verse 10. Looking at the time, I'm going to hold for the present time application. We'll make applications in all of the letters as we come to the end of chapter 3. Enjoy reading chapter 2, 4 letters, relatively straightforward. Read, seek understanding, to read and to understand. We'll talk more about what some of these things may mean as we continue to read through the book. May God bless us as we seek the blessing that the Lord pronounces upon those who read and understand, those who hear and apply. See you next time, Revelation 3.